Have you ever wondered why the more attention you give her, the less she seems to value you? Yet the less you care, the more she chases? Modern dating feels broken. Guys give everything: time, attention, effort, only to get nothing real in return. You've probably felt it yourself. You show interest, you compliment, you try to prove you're worth it, and all you get back is cold indifference. She doesn't respect you. She doesn't value you. She acts like she's above you. And deep down, it burns. But here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Most women today walk around with inflated egos that have nothing to do with real value. Social media, endless attention from men, and a culture that tells them they're queens just for existing. It all creates a false sense of superiority. They start believing that male attention is their birthright, that they deserve the best without offering anything back, that you should fight for their approval while they do nothing to earn yours. And that's where the game flips, because her ego isn't confidence, it's compensation. The louder she screams her worth, the more desperate she is for outside validation to prove it. The more she demands to be treated like a prize, the more she knows deep down she hasn't earned it. That fake self-image is fragile, and once you understand how it's built, you'll know exactly how to shatter it without saying a word. Stay locked in, because by the end of this video, you'll see why her ego needs you far more than you'll ever need her. Women don't wake up one day with giant egos out of nowhere. Their inflated self-image is built step by step from the moment they're little girls. Think about it. From childhood, they're told they're special simply for existing. You're so pretty. You're so smart. You're amazing. Compliments on autopilot. Zero effort required. And the cycle doesn't stop. As they grow older, social media supercharges the problem. Every selfie gets likes. Every post gets comments. Men compete for their attention like it's oxygen. And the more validation they get, the less they value it. Attention becomes cheap. Your like, your comment, your compliment. It's just one more drop in a flood that never ends. By the time she hits adulthood, the average woman has already absorbed thousands of hours of free validation. She's been told she's beautiful, intelligent, and valuable so many times that she starts to believe it, whether it's true or not. This is where entitlement is born. She begins to expect validation not as a reward for who she is, but as a basic right. She's conditioned to think male attention belongs to her, that resources should flow toward her automatically. That approval is a gift you should fight for, while she gives nothing back. But here's the twist most men never see. Real confidence doesn't need constant reinforcement. If her self-worth came from genuine achievements, she wouldn't crave non-stop validation. The woman with true confidence can stand on her own. The woman with fake confidence needs endless reassurance because deep down, she knows her image has no foundation. That's why so many modern women look confident, but feel insecure. They act entitled, but secretly doubt their value. They demand royal treatment, but know they haven't earned it. It's all a mask, and that mask needs one thing to survive: your attention. Here's the irony. She can collect likes, comments, and thirsty messages all day, but none of it hits her soul. Deep down, she knows desperate men will praise anything just to get noticed. That approval is worthless. What really matters to her is the man who doesn't need her, the man who has standards, the man who can walk away. His attention is gold. His validation has weight. And this is where her ego starts to crack. Because the one thing she can't get enough of is respect from a man who refuses to play her game. Most guys mess up right at the start. They walk into an interaction with a woman like a salesman, begging someone to buy a product. They compliment her looks. They agree with everything she says. They laugh at jokes that aren't funny. They act grateful just for the chance to stand near her. And what happens? The dynamic flips. She becomes the buyer. You become the desperate seller. You're pitching yourself, and she's sitting back deciding if she even cares. That frame kills attraction instantly. Here's the reality. You're not selling yourself to her. You're interviewing her for a role in your life. You're not begging for her approval. You're deciding if she deserves yours. You're not chasing her validation. You're seeing if she can actually meet your standards. That shift in perspective changes everything. When you stop chasing, when you stop handing out your attention like free samples, the entire game resets. Scarcity kicks in, and scarcity is power. Think about it. Throughout history, the men with options were the ones women competed for. Why? Because their attention was rare. It was valuable. Women are wired to chase what's scarce. When your time is limited because you're building yourself, when your focus is split between goals, standards, and choices, she feels it, and she reacts. Suddenly, she's not demanding special treatment. She's working to earn it. She's not testing your boundaries as hard. She's respecting them, because she knows you're not like the rest. Here's the hack most guys never learn. The fastest way to crush her ego is not with words, but with silence. Don't react to her little games. Don't flinch at her tests. When she throws out a backhanded comment, don't defend yourself. Don't explain. Just stay calm, indifferent. That one move flips the script, because her biggest weapon is emotional control. If she can make you insecure, if she can make you chase approval, she wins. But when you don't bite, her ego takes the hit. She starts to wonder, why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he need me? That's when the mask slips. The fake confidence, the inflated self-image, it all cracks. She can't control you, and that terrifies her. Women are always scanning for status. It's not something they think about. It's automatic. In every room, every conversation, every date, she's reading signals to figure out, where does this man sit in the hierarchy? Is he above me or beneath me? Most men fail this test because they try too hard. They talk too much, brag too much, or bend over backwards just to impress. But real status isn't spoken, it's shown. The high-value man doesn't beg for approval. He gives it, carefully, to those who earn it. He doesn't explain himself. He expects to be understood. He doesn't chase. He allows others to come to him. When she tests him, he doesn't flinch. He stays centered, calm, unaffected. These behaviors hit deep because they match how women are wired biologically. For thousands of years, women survived by recognizing which men had options, resources, and strength. That programming still runs today. She may not realize it, but when you hold yourself with quiet authority, her instincts light up. And here's the key. It has to be real. Women can smell fake confidence a mile away. If you're pretending to be high value while secretly desperate for her attention, she feels it instantly. That's try-hard energy, and it kills attraction. True status comes from within, from real accomplishments, from a clear mission, from actually having options. When you build yourself for real, you don't need to convince her of your worth. Your presence already proves it. This is why so many women's egos collapse when they run into a man like this. Because the man who doesn't need her is the one she wants most. He's rare. His attention is scarce. His validation is gold. And if he's not impressed, that shakes her to the core. She'll start working harder, testing less, respecting more. Not because you forced her, but because her instincts tell her she's in front of someone who doesn't play her game. And once you understand that, you realize the power was never hers. It was always yours. Here's a truth most men forget. In the marketplace of dating, women control access to sex, but men control access to commitment. And your commitment, your time, your attention, your emotional investment is the most unshakable thing you own. But what do most guys do? They give it away for free. They hand out attention like candy. They prioritize her schedule over their own. They invest emotionally before she's proven anything. And the result? She stops valuing it. Because anything that's easy to get is easy to take for granted. When a woman gets commitment without effort, she learns to see it as her birthright. Male attention becomes background noise. She starts believing she doesn't need to give value in return. That's when entitlement grows. That's when her ego inflates. But when you flip the script, everything changes. Treat your commitment like currency. Rare, precious, something she must earn. Make her prove her worth before she gets access to the deeper parts of you. Your time, your loyalty, your emotional energy. Do this and watch how fast her behavior shifts. Suddenly, she's no longer demanding special treatment. She's working to deserve it. She stops taking your attention for granted and starts competing to keep it. She stops expecting freebies and starts offering value back. This isn't about being cold or manipulative. It's about setting the frame. Your attention should mean something. Your commitment should feel expensive. Because when it does, she has no choice but to respect it or lose it. And here's the kicker. Women want this dynamic. Deep down, they crave a man whose time isn't free, whose approval isn't automatic, whose commitment actually matters. That's what makes them feel secure. That's what makes them respect you. So stop selling yourself like a bargain product. Start treating your commitment like the rare currency it is. Because when you do, her ego shrinks fast. She realizes she can't just coast on entitlement. She has to earn her place in your world. And the moment she feels that shift, that's when she starts chasing you. Every relationship runs on power dynamics. And the person who bends first, who compromises just to keep the peace, who caves in to avoid losing the other, that's the person who loses control. Women know this instinctively. That's why they test. They throw challenges, ultimatums, little games, designed to see if you'll hold the line or fold. And here's the brutal truth. The man who backs down first loses her respect for good. Think of it like a game of chicken. Two cars racing head-on. Whoever swerves first loses. In relationships, the same rule applies. The person more invested in the outcome is the one who breaks. If you're terrified of losing her, you'll cave. If you're outcome independent, if you don't need her validation, her approval, or even her presence, you can hold your ground. That's power. That's leverage. And nothing cracks her ego faster. When you stand firm, she realizes her threats don't work. Her emotional manipulation doesn't work. Her pressure tactics fall flat. Suddenly, she's forced to question her own value compared to yours. Because if you're willing to walk away rather than compromise your standards, it means one of two things. Either you have better options, or you value yourself more than you value her approval. Both shake her to the core. But here's where most guys fail. They confuse strength with aggression. They argue. They get defensive. They raise their voice. Wrong move. The real power isn't in fighting, it's in indifference. Calm, unshaken, unmoved. When she tries to rattle you and you don't flinch, that's when her ego collapses. Because her whole strategy depends on control. If she can't control you, she loses leverage. And if she loses leverage, her inflated self-image starts to fall apart. So remember this: outcome independence is your shield. When you don't need her to feel complete, when you can walk away at any time, you stop playing her game. And that's when the frame shifts permanently in your favor, because the man who doesn't need her is the man she can't resist. Here's the part most men completely misunderstand. Women's behavior isn't always conscious choice. A lot of it is programming. Evolutionary scripts running in the background. For thousands of years, the women who survived were the ones who could extract the most from men. Resources, protection, attention. To do that, they had to overvalue themselves. They had to project worth bigger than reality. And the ones who pulled it off passed on those instincts. That's why today, even when she doesn't mean harm, a woman may act entitled. It's not always malice. It's programming. But here's the twist. Programming also makes her ego fragile. Because if she truly believed she was high value, she wouldn't need constant validation. The truth is, many women who shout the loudest about being too good are secretly the most insecure. The girl who demands princess treatment knows deep down she isn't royalty. The one who says she's out of your league secretly fears she's not even in the game. When you realize this, everything changes. You stop taking her behavior personally. She's not rejecting you. She's running a script. She's not attacking you. She's following instincts designed to test your value. And once you see it for what it is, you can choose not to play along. That's the key. Awareness gives you control. If you mistake her behavior for truth, you'll react, defend, explain. You'll play right into her hands. But if you recognize it as a test, you can stay calm, confident, indifferent. And nothing destroys her ego faster than a man who won't buy into her illusion. Because when you don't flinch, she has to confront reality. That her inflated self-image isn't real. That her games don't work on you. That she'll have to bring actual value if she wants to keep your attention. And that's where her ego starts to collapse. Not because you attacked her, but because you refused to participate in the lie. Now, let's talk about the fuel that supercharges her ego today. Social media. One photo, one post. And instantly, she gets a flood of likes, comments, fire emojis, your gorgeous messages. Hundreds of men lining up in her DMs just to hand her free validation. On the surface, it feels powerful. It convinces her she's more valuable than she really is. But underneath, it's all fake. Because here's the truth she doesn't want to admit. Those men aren't real options. They're digital servants. They give validation without expecting anything back. Their likes are cheap. Their comments are empty. None of it adds up to real-world value. She can live in that bubble online, thinking she's untouchable. But step into reality, and it's different. Real life doesn't care about follower counts. Real men with options aren't impressed by a curated feed. And the moment she meets a guy who isn't dazzled by her digital persona, the bubble starts to pop. That's where you come in. Don't feed the fantasy. Don't like her photos. Don't chase her stories. Don't validate her online brand. Instead, judge her on what she brings in the real world, her actions, her character, her effort. And when she realizes her online ego doesn't move you, That's devastating, because it forces her to face a truth she's been avoiding. Instagram likes aren't love. DMs aren't commitment. Attention online isn't respect in real life. The more indifferent you are to her digital image, the more powerful you become in her eyes. Suddenly, the tricks that worked on thousands of men don't work on you. She can't control you with filters and likes. She has to show up as who she really is. And that shift is brutal for her ego. Because deep down she knows online validation is meaningless. But your validation in the real world, that's gold. So how do you actually break the cycle? It's not about fancy lines or tricks. It's about principles, rules you live by that force her ego to collapse on its own. Let's break it down into 5 steps. Step 1. Cut the free validation. Stop handing out compliments like participation trophies. Don't praise her looks unless she's truly earned it. Don't agree with her just to keep things smooth. Don't laugh at her jokes unless they're genuinely funny. Every bit of approval you give should cost something. Step 2. Hold your standards. She will test. She will push. She will see if you'll bend. Don't. When she crosses a line, stay firm. When she demands special treatment, make her earn it. When she tries to provoke you emotionally, stay centered. Boundaries aren't flexible. They're the frame she either respects or bounces off of. Step 3. Protect your time and energy. Don't be available 24/7. Don't drop your priorities to fit her schedule. Don't sacrifice your goals for her convenience. Your life comes first. The man who guards his time forces her to fight for a place in it. Step 4. Make her earn benefits. No expensive dinners on date 1. No emotional support before she's given you any. No priority spot in your life until she proves she's earned it. She has to invest before she collects. Step 5. Stay outcome independent. Don't change who you are to keep her interested. Don't compromise your values to avoid losing her. Don't let her approval decide your worth. If she pulls away, let her. If she tests, stay firm. If she threatens to walk, be willing to watch her leave. Follow these steps and watch what happens. Suddenly, the entitlement melts. The games lose power. She has no choice but to respect you or disappear. And either outcome works in your favor. Because the point isn't to destroy her confidence. The point is to destroy the fake confidence. To replace ego built on empty validation with respect built on real value. And when you hold the line, she learns fast. The only way to keep your attention is to actually deserve it. Now don't think she'll just sit back and accept it when you stop feeding her ego. No, she'll fight. She'll push back with every psychological weapon she's got, because keeping that inflated self-image alive is her survival strategy. And if you're not ready, you'll fold right into her hands. The first weapon is emotional manipulation. She'll create drama out of nowhere. She'll cry, guilt trip, act like you're being cruel just because you're not giving her endless validation. She'll frame your strength as coldness, but it's not. It's discipline, and you can't let her reframe it. The second weapon is social pressure. She'll run to friends, family, or even your circle, playing the victim. She'll paint you as unavailable, afraid of commitment, impossible to please. It's all designed to make you question yourself and cave. Don't. Remember, other people don't live your life. You set your standards. The third weapon is withholding intimacy. She'll use sex as a bargaining chip. Give it when you validate her. Take it away when you don't. She'll say you're not meeting her emotional needs. Translation: you're not feeding her ego. If you fall for it, she wins. If you stay steady, the power stays with you. The fourth weapon is comparison. She'll drop hints about other men. My ex used to do this. Other guys would treat me better. She wants to spark jealousy, to make you compete. But the moment you compete, you've already lost. And finally, there's gaslighting. She'll deny her entitlement. She'll insist she's not asking for special treatment. She'll try to flip the script and make you feel like the problem. But if you stay grounded, you'll see through the smoke. Here's the key. The harder she fights, the more you know it's working. A woman with genuine confidence doesn't need to battle to protect it. Only fragile, artificial ego demands constant defense. So when she escalates, it's proof you're shaking the foundation. Your job isn't to argue, explain, or fight back. Your job is to remain calm, steady, unshaken. Because the moment she realizes her tricks don't control you, her ego cracks. And when it cracks, she has to face reality or walk away. Either way, you win. Breaking her ego once isn't enough. If you've dealt with women before, you know this. Patterns don't die easy. The moment you relax, the moment you go back to free validation and easy attention, she slips right back into her old habits. That's why the real power is in consistency. You have to create a dynamic where earning your respect is never-ending. It doesn't mean being harsh or cold. It means holding the line, always. When she brings value, acknowledge it. When she slacks, stay silent. When she acts entitled, remain unimpressed. When she proves she's worth it, reward appropriately. That's the rhythm. This long-term frame forces her to operate differently. She stops assuming your attention is automatic. She starts working to keep it. And most importantly, she starts building real confidence instead of clinging to fake ego. Because when you don't reward entitlement, she either levels up or she leaves. Both outcomes are good for you. But here's the hard truth. Not every woman can make that shift. Some are too hooked on the drug of easy validation. They can't function without constant praise. They'd rather live in the fantasy of inflated ego than face the reality of earned confidence. Those women? They're not worth your energy. Your job isn't to fix them. Your job is to filter them, to separate the ones addicted to ego inflation from the ones capable of growth. The woman who adapts, who accepts she has to earn, can become a partner who truly respects you. The one who refuses, let her go. Quickly, because in the end, this game is simple. Protect your value. Treat your attention, your time, and your commitment as rare currency. Make her earn it again and again. When you do, you'll never have to worry about inflated egos controlling you. Instead, you'll attract the women who are real. Women who respect you. Women who actually bring something to the table. And those are the only ones worth keeping around. At the end of everything, the truth is simple. You only have two choices. You can keep playing the same broken game, giving away your attention for free, chasing women who live off ego, and lowering yourself just to be good enough. But if you do, nothing changes. You stay stuck in frustration, surrounded by women who demand without ever giving back. You can flip the frame. You can treat your time, your focus, and your commitment like the rare currency they are. You can stand firm on your standards and force women to bring real value if they want access to you. When you do this, her fake confidence cracks. Her games lose power. And suddenly, the entire dynamic shifts in your favor. But here's the catch. You can't fake it. You have to build it. Real strength, real options, real confidence. When that foundation is solid, her inflated ego no longer matters. because a man who doesn't need her is the man she can't resist. So the choice is yours. Keep chasing illusions or step into your worth. One path drains you. The other leads to respect, power, and women who actually deserve you. If this message hit you, don't just nod and scroll. Lock it in. Like, share, and subscribe. Because the more men who wake up to this truth, the faster the game changes for all of us. Thank you for watching. Drop a comment below. What's the biggest struggle you want us to break down next? Let's build a brotherhood of men who rise above confusion and reclaim their power. See you in the next video.